I went to middle/high school in this tiny Texas town that had more fields than buildings. It was a really spread out town with nothing but cows and old decrepit houses. Only had one gas station, school district, and like 3 restaurants. I lived out in a kind of old house pretty far from the school, meaning there was a lot of fields I could just kind of walk in. I'd walk to an old abandoned house and stuff, just kind of explore and see. I was a dumb teenager and it seemed like a smart idea. I took a big stick with me and naturally, that was enough. I had a house I really liked because a ton of bees in it. They had made their walls into their hive and it was really cool. Bees are cute, don't at me. I also had some books, mostly history textbooks for some reason, and a ton of burnt out candles and old, dried and torn towels. I took a friend out there with me once to show him the bee house and I noticed for once some stuff was moved around. I wasn't too spooked. We had a lot of immigrants from Mexico passing through, so I figured it was just that. But it felt weird. The candles were picked up and moved to another room as if they were all thrown in a corner. The bees had also moved. I was just there a few days ago, but I realized that the bees were never in the same room as the candles. Might have been that they didn't like the smoke or whatever. There was a few spiral notebooks now with blood and feces on them, and they just said, rise, 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 and in some, mind beyond. There are a few shovels that I don't think were there before. As much as I loved the bees, I didn't go back there. For some reason, this spooked me. My friend stole a history book from there, and I remember he showed me that several pages had X's crossing out historical events. I didn't like that he took the book, and I asked him that he put it back. But he said that he burned it in his fire pit. I do remember that we had some bees make a hive near our house some months after that.
Be 8-year-old kid in the 90s, at a friend's house after school. Friend's family has an extensive VHS collection. We're going through trying to find a movie to watch. Friend gets called upstairs by his dad. Dad was a bit of a hard ass. I think he was in trouble for something. Continue going through VHS tapes. Finally found one I want to watch. I think it was one of the Ernest movies. Lol. Except the tape inside doesn't match the cover. It's missing the label with the movie title. Put it in the VCR. It's a home movie. It looks like they had a tripod set up in the doorway of the living room because you can see the whole room in a wide shot. Mom and Dad are sitting on the couch spaced apart. Friend and his sister are each in a chair opposite them. Wait 30 seconds to happen. Nothing does. Press fast forward. They are literally sitting there, not even talking or moving. Get the feeling there's something fucked up and weird about this. Hear my friend coming downstairs. Quickly eject the tape and put it back. Never ask him about it. He moves away. Still think about this sometimes. Beanie, 16, 2006. Mom homeschools me and my sister. Also babysits my cousin's daughter. During our lunch break, we're sitting in the living room watching TV. Cousin goes down the hallway towards the laundry room. Me and sister hear her talking to someone. Our grandparents live next door, so maybe Grandma needed something. Mom goes to check and see. Me and sis go too. Cousin is by herself, even though we 100% heard an older woman's voice. Mom asks who she's talking to. A lady named Sue. No one in her family is named Sue. Mom asks her where Sue went. The girl points at the floor. She's hiding. Everyone is very weirded out at this and getting chills. Mom decides to have us get our shoes and jackets and go over to Grandma's house for a while. Cousin's daughter is standing with her back towards the hallway, waiting for us to finish putting our shoes on. All of a sudden, little girl drops to the floor like her legs got kicked out from under her. Starts being drugged by her hair on the hallway, kicking, flailing, and screaming. Mom runs after her, shouting, "Get away from her!" Mom grabs her and we book it out of the house. The house was rebuilt around 2003, and for about 10 years, the hallway gave off this very unsettling, claustrophobic vibe. We hated going down the hallway at night. It also felt like something was right behind us. I've had a lot of other experiences in this house too, but it seemed to have calmed down a lot in the last 5 or 6 years. A friend of my dad's would babysit me sometimes when I was little. Mom wasn't in the picture. And he used to tell me a story that scares the absolute shit out of me to this day. Dad has a friend. I'll call him Bob. Bob is driving a rig down the middle of bumfuck nowhere, Oregon. He has to make delivery by the following morning, so he decides just to drive through the night. It's like 1 in the morning and no one else is out in the roads. Hasn't seen another car in probably 100 miles. He is literally in the middle of nowhere. Suddenly, the whole sky lights up, instantly like daylight. Bob slams in the fucking brakes, has no idea what the hell is going on. Everything stays lit up for a good solid 10 seconds. He can see everything. Whatever's happening, it's not lightning. It doesn't stop or flicker at all. Bob hunkers down, anticipating imminent nuclear destruction. Suddenly, the sky goes dark again. No sound, no blast wave. He sits there in the middle of the road, waiting for almost 5 minutes, then decides to keep going. Figures it was a meteor or something. Goes about 2 miles up the road and sees a car with its flashers on, stopped in the middle of the road. Stops a good distance away from it. There's not enough room to go around it. Front end of the car is crumpled like it hit something. Bob figures they probably hit a deer that got spooked whenever the meteor went over and ran into the road. He gets out of the cab and goes to see if the driver is okay. The driver is sitting on the ground by the driver's side door, has his knees and is resting his head in his arms. "Hey buddy, you okay?" Bob calls. He stops about 10 feet away for seemingly no reason. Something about the whole situation feels weird. Bob is one of those guys that always listens to his gut, so he stays put. "God, my head is killing me," the guy says, but he doesn't lift his head up so it's muffled. "Did you hit a deer?" Bob asks. He's getting more and more uneasy. Something is wrong. But he still can't figure out what exactly it is. The guy says he thinks he might have hurt his head and asks Bob to please help him. Bob takes a step forward, but his instincts are going apeshit. He looks at everything again. That's when he notices it. The fucking car is all wrong. It looks like what someone thinks a car looks like. It has all the right pieces, but there's nothing extra, if that makes sense. Bob says he looked like a cheap Hot Wheels car. It looked just all wonky and wrong. It's just one solid piece of material with headlights put into it. There's no manufacturer or model names. Bob knows cars, and this thing is nothing he's ever seen before. From where he's standing, there's no tailpipe or even hubcaps. It's just the shape of a car. He starts to back up, and the guy asks him for help again. Bob tells him he can't help him and that he'll call a tow truck when he gets to the next town. The guy lifts his head and looks at Bob, tells him he thinks he might have a concussion. Something is really wrong with the guy's face, but again, it takes a second for Bob to figure it out. The next part is exactly how Bob described it. Everything on the man's face is where it should have been, in their normal positions. He looked totally normal, except for the fact that his eyes and mouth were on upside down. Bob goes apeshit and sprints back to his rig, climbs in, locks the door just in time for the man to slam to the door behind him. How the fuck he got there so fast? He knocks on the glass and smiles at Bob, but because his mouth is upside down, it looks like he's screaming. Tells Bob to open the door so he can come in. Bob fucking floors it. He doesn't care if he hits the guy or not. His truck easily pushes the car out of the way. Whatever it is, it's light and it makes no sound when he hits it. Unfortunately, it's an anticlimactic ending. Bob got where he was going fine with no other problems. My dad knows the story, but I don't think he believes it. But Bob tells it to everyone he meets. So obviously he does. He's absolutely adamant about the guy being an alien. Years later, I heard about the Thatcher effect, and nearly had a fucking heart attack when I saw it. I showed one of the pictures to Bob, and he wouldn't even look at it. He says it's exactly what the guy looked like. Pick very much related. Doing a K Summer in a Woods challenge, Stalker challenge. Got to chill in the woods with vodka and harmonica/guitar for 48 hours within like 50 feet of a broken down building. Spent first half of first day exploring. Find a nice abandoned concrete structure of sorts. Set up camp nearby. Make a fire. Got some small game on the way in with my slung. Start skinning that bitch. Damn tasty. Here's some rustling, and it sure as hell isn't my jimmies because this rabbit is damn good. Put hand on rifle. Scan forest in front of me and behind me. Solid 5 minutes pass. Put guard down. Go back to jamming on harmonica. Next day, wake up to screaming. Eyes open. Grab SKS. Silence. Absolute fucking silence. Storm clouds are gathering. Blowout soon. Stalker.jpg. Start dripping. Decide to head in the direction I heard the scream. Spend at least an hour searching. Get lost as fuck. Eventually find my way back to camp. Pretty tired. It's raining like crazy. See a guy standing over my fire, looking at the smoldering ashes. I get a bit shaken. Hey man. He fucking snaps his head up to look at me. Raise my gun. Freak out. He doesn't even flinch at all. In fact, he looks really curious. You lost, man? He doesn't respond. He smiles. Need some help? His clothes look a bit tattered, but there were no wounds in him or anything. It was really strange. He looks like he just got run over by a fucking truck without the truck part. Mexican standoff.jpg. 30 seconds-ish later. You kinda worrying me, bro. You okay? Finally speaks. I wouldn't worry about it. Fucking nope.jpg. I could go for another meal right now, though. Another. I didn't leave any food by the fireplace. Suddenly, all of my K experience starts rushing back to me. Fucking nope out of there so hard. Don't even try to be subtle. Just turn and run. Can hear him running after me. Turn and start to shoot blindly. Hear a scream. It sounds exactly like the scream I heard before. Exact same pitch, exact same tone, everything. Finally reach a road. Tumble down a hill onto it. Run across it and turn around, gun limp at my side. See a figure by the trees up there. Heavy fucking breathing. Lights of a car coming. It looks at it and then runs back into the woods. My fucking face went. Fuck this goddamn shitty ass state. Fucking goddamn. Hey, Here's this nasty smelling goop that came from so far deep in Earth's crust man has never perceived with his own facilities what lurks there. And it is universally toxic to life, and so is every way of extracting it. Should we use it? Yeah, sure, it's probably not the ichor of sin or anything. It's probably just liquefied corpses of life that was wiped from Earth for no reason at all. It's pitch black and seems to contain both fire and brimstone. Also, my skin is turning red from touching it. Last guy touched this stuff too often died from horrifying alien ghosts inside his body, right? He's probably washed my hands. We can replace horses with this stuff and charge money for it.